When I was pregnant with my second child, my husband sent his female secretary to give me a customized mango cake. The moment I saw the mango, I silently made an appointment abortion. At the same time, I asked a lawyer to draft a divorce agreement. When Charles George heard the news, he called to question. I chuckled and said, "Wasn't it you who had someone send a cake?" "I agree, let's get a divorce." Charles came back from overtime work and opened the door to see the shirt he wore yesterday still piled on the sofa. His brows knitted up imperceptibly. Glancing at me browsing my phone, he flatly commanded, "Remember to wash my shirt from yesterday when you're done." In the past, I took care of all the housework for him every day without him asking. This time, after he finished speaking, I didn't react and continued to look down at my phone. He took something out of his trouser pocket and walked over to me. He stretched out his hand and opened it. A pink brand limited lipstick lay quietly in his palm. I picked it up and took a look at it with a calm expression. In fact, I never wore makeup and I couldn't understand the differences between those lipstick colors. He smiled and asked, "How is it? I thought you would like it, so I bought it for you." My fingers that were scrolling through videos suddenly stopped. The advertisement on the screen happened to be the brand of lipstick he had given me. I only understood all when I clicked on it. The pink packaging showed that it was a complimentary gift from the brand. I couldn't be bothered to take another look at it. It was about to end, so I make myself unhappy. The alarm went off and I took handfuls of pills. I turned around and said calmly, "The agreement has been written, so just sign it when you are free." He had already sent the mango cake, and it would be very foolish for me to pretend that I didn't understand. Charles was busy with many things every day. I directly asked him to draft the agreement, as it was just a minor matter, and he just needed to sign it in the end. But his face darkened after hearing that. "You know, I didn't mean divorce, and Yolanda Lane didn't mean that either. That cake was to celebrate our second child. Don't give it another thought." He sat comfortably on his sofa with his legs on the table. I was about to remind him that the room was just cleaned. Realizing that we were about to divorce, I stopped myself in time. Habit was truly a terrible thing. At first, Yolanda, his childhood sweetheart, became his secretary. I tried to find faults every day. But after a year, I surprisingly got used to it. Even when Yolanda sent me the photos of them traveling abroad together, I could calmly give them thumbs up. Seeing me looking down at my phone, Charles spoke in dissatisfaction. "Haven't you visited Chris recently? My elder sister is very dissatisfied with you. Stop watching those useless things and pay more attention to our family." My finger paused on the screen. Chris George was our son. He had been taken away by the elders of the George family since he was born. They claimed that it was for him to receive exclusive education as their heir. 2 weeks ago, Yolanda told me that the George family had signed up a holiday military training course for Chris. I was forbidden to visit him. At that moment, Charles' question clearly showed his ignorance. Now, I couldn't be bothered to pursue the truth. Anyway, the George family had more complaints about me than just those. The only thing that made them happy after we got married was probably giving birth to the lovely Chris. Seeing that I didn't reply, Charles frowned.
As my husband Spencer Jones was heading home to pick up our daughter, Dora, from school, he suddenly called to say he had something urgent. He left Dora halfway and asked me to pick her up. Worried that something might happen to Dora, despite having a high fever, I rushed towards her. I was still too late. A truck without license plates hit her and fled the scene, resulting in her death. Holding Dora's lifeless body, I broke down in tears. Meanwhile, Spencer's first love Gloria Smith posted on her social media, "You always appear just when I need you. Grateful to have you around." Accompanying the post was a sweet photo of them together. I took a screenshot and sent it to Spencer, asking, "Is this why you left Dora by herself?" It wasn't until after our daughter's cremation and burial that Spencer finally responded, "She's 6 and can manage by herself, but Gloria can't be without me. Spencer, let's get a divorce." I made the painful decision to request a divorce and sent my final message to Spencer before blocking him. Spencer had been a guiding light in my life for 30 years. We grew up together, attended school together, and everyone knew I'd always followed him. I stayed around him as his friend. From supporting his pursuits and dating of Gloria to witnessing his heartbreaks due to Gloria's departure, I'd been there every step of the way. I didn't recall when I started developing feelings for him, but during his relationship with Gloria, I endured the agony of unrequited love. After Gloria left and Spencer was heartbroken, and we eventually married. We had known each other since we were 5, dated at 26, and welcomed our daughter Dora at 29. Now, Dora was 6. I had followed Spencer for 30 years. For 30 years, my burning gaze had never left him. I spent all my precious youth on him. For 30 years, I gave my all, thinking that one day I would have a place in his heart. But I was wrong. In his heart, I was just the second best option. He'd always been the one who was doted by love, while I had gotten used to being humble and making sacrifices. Even though we were married with a child, I didn't dare ask much of him. He was very busy at work, so I was sensible and never disturbed him. Whether it was illness, a prenatal checkup, or even giving birth, I dared not trouble him. I was afraid that if I didn't do something well, it would annoy him. This was the only time in all these years that I had a severe fever and had no other options, so I asked him to pick up Dora. But this time, because of Gloria, He abandoned Dora halfway, causing her death. She was only 6 years old and had so much potential. How lonely and scared she must have felt when she died. I knelt in front of Dora's grave and cried, until my last tear dried up. Then I got up and left with a dead heart. Not long after, I saw Spencer holding Gloria's shoulders and walking towards me. Gloria was holding an urn in her hands, her face haggard, and Spencer looked at her with eyes full of pity and tenderness. Spencer, this cemetery is full of birds and flowers. Danny should like it, right? Danny was a poodle Gloria kept. Spencer had a distressed look on his face and was about to speak. But when he looked up, he saw me not far away. When our eyes met, the pity in his eyes turned into indifference. Lindsay, you're never going to stop, are you? First you talked about divorce, and now you're following me here. Do you have nothing better to do? Frowning with displeasure. Step aside. I spoke coldly, not wanting to say another word to him.